Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring a warm and nature-inspired idea for the holidays: natural garlands for a cozy Christmas. If you love the scent of fresh pine, the soft textures of eucalyptus, and the rustic charm of dried citrus, you're in the right place. This video is all about simple, doable ideas using materials you can gather from your garden, a nearby market, or the forest after a quiet walk. The goal is to create garlands that feel intentional, comforting, and truly festive without leaning on synthetic decor. The photos you'll see are meant to match real-life setups. A garland draped over a fireplace, one wound along a staircase railing, another hung above a doorway, all with an organic, homey vibe. So grab a cup of tea, and let's start with the basics. First, the base. A natural garland needs a sturdy foundation. Many people love a grapevine wreath because it's strong, flexible, and complements the organic look. If you don't have a wreath at hand, a length of thick jute rope can become a makeshift garland, or you can simply weave greens around a thick wire frame. The idea is to have something that can hold the greens in place as you weave textures and accents into the surface. For attaching things, you'll want some floral wire or sturdy kitchen twine. Scissors or garden shears are handy for trimming, and a few pins can help secure delicate pieces for the perfect hold. Now, greens. The kind of greenery you choose will define the mood of the garland. Pine needles give a classic, forestry feel. Fir and spruce bring a darker, richer tone. Eucalyptus adds a cool blue-green with a soft velvety texture. Even olive branches or holly can add shape and subtle color. The beauty of natural garlands is that you can mix several greens to create depth. In the photos you'll see, greens are layered so the garland looks lush rather than flat. When you're gathering materials, you don't need to be exact about quantities. Start with a base of longer greens, then tuck in shorter pieces to fill gaps. Remember that texture matters as much as color. Decorative accents are where you can bring in character. Dried citrus slices add warm color and fragrance. Cinnamon sticks and star anise introduce spice notes that really say Christmas. Pine cones bring rustic charm. Berries, fresh or dried, add pops of red or deep burgundy, and dried flowers or seed pods can create an architectural look. If you want a more minimalist palette, choose 2 or 3 accent items and repeat them along the garland to keep things cohesive. In these images you'll notice how accents are tucked in at irregular intervals so nothing feels too uniform. The first big step is planning length and placement. Where will your garland live? Mantels, stair rails, windows, or doorways all have different sightlines. A mantel garland tends to be the centerpiece, so you may want it a little thicker and longer. A staircase garland can curve around turns, so you'll want pieces that bend gently without losing shape. If you're working with a lightweight area like a doorway frame, you can layer lighter greens and keep the accents more spaced out. In the photos, you'll see a few examples. A long garland across a fireplace, a slender version along a staircase, and a short one above a doorway. Measure the space first, then cut your greens and base to match so you don't overfill or underfill. Assembling step by step. Start by attaching your base to the surface where you want the garland to live. If you're using a grapevine wreath as a base, you can simply lay it over a mantle and tuck the greens into the gaps with small pieces of twine. If you're using a straight rope or wire, secure the ends to the mounting point with floral tape or twist ties. The aim is to create a strong spine that will hold shape through the season. After the base is secured, begin adding greens. Place a longer stem first and anchor it with a piece of wire or twine. Then, layer in shorter greens at alternating angles so the garland feels full from all viewpoints. You want the greens to look like they grew there, not like they were stacked in a row. If you see any bald spots, don't worry. You can tuck in a fresh sprig or 2 and slightly bend the stems to fill them in. Once the greens are established, it's time for accents. Start with a few larger pieces like dried orange slices or pine cones so they become your focal points. Space these anchors every 10 to 14 inches, depending on the length of your garland. The citrus slices not only look beautiful but also perfume the air with a cozy, citrusy scent that's perfect for Christmas. Cinnamon sticks can be tucked between greens in small bundles. You don't need many, just 2 or 3 sticks at each cluster will do. Star anise or dried berries can be added for color and another layer of scent. Remember to secure every accent with a little wire or twine so nothing shifts with a breeze or gentle movement. If you're aiming for color, think about your palette. A traditional red and green look can be achieved by using red berries and green foliage, with natural beige or brown accents from pine cones and cinnamon. For a more modern, earthy feel, stick to different shades of green with a touch of white or gray eucalyptus and a few natural wood accents. If you want something lighter, you can incorporate small white accents such as dried white berries or delicate seed pods. The photos show several palette ideas: a classic pine and holly arrangement, a eucalyptus-forward version with citrus, and a rustic pinecone heavy look. You can adapt any of these to your space and mood. Hanging and shaping. After you've built up the greens and accents, step back and look at the overall shape. A slightly curved, organic line tends to look most natural. If your space has a sharp corner or a 90-degree angle, a gentle arc will soften it beautifully. For mantle settings, you might hang the garland so that it sits a few inches above the edge and drapes slightly over the front. For stair rails, you can loop the garland in and out in a soft wave pattern to echo the curve of the railing. If you want extra glow, you can weave in a few battery-operated warm white fairy lights tucked into the greens. Just be mindful of heat near dried accents and keep the battery pack discreet at the back. Longevity and upkeep. Natural garlands are not forever, but with a little care, they can last through most of the season. Light misting with water can help keep the foliage fresh, especially in drier homes. If you're in a very dry climate, think about choosing heartier greens like pine or fir rather than delicate eucalyptus, and avoid overloading with water which can lead to mold. Place the garland away from direct heat sources like radiators or sunny windows, which can dry the greens too quickly. If you notice any drooping, you can trim back a few longer stems and re-tuck them into the base. A simple trick is to rotate the garland slightly during the day to catch light differently, which helps maintain a lively, dimensional look. Special tips for different spaces. Mantles benefit from a thick, lush look. Staircase garlands look best when they follow the handrails line and have gentle corners. Doorway garlands should be graceful and not obstruct door movement. If you're decorating outdoors, you can use a sturdier base and more durable greens like pine cones and fir sprigs that hold up to elements. A simple pinecone cluster with citrus slice accents can create a striking contrast against a wooden door or a snowy window scene. Remember that less can be more. A few well-placed accents are often more impactful than a crowded strand. The photos demonstrate several approaches you can mix and match to fit your home's architecture and your personal taste. Practice makes perfect, but the best part of natural garlands is how forgiving they are. You can adjust, reassemble, and even repurpose pieces from last year. If you find that a garland looks too heavy in one area, swap in lighter greens or move an accent cluster to another spot. It's a creative process, a little bit of trial and a lot of joy, and the result is a warm, inviting holiday display that feels truly yours. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder about safety and sustainability. Choose materials that are still locally available when possible. Reuse a previous base if you can, and avoid synthetic substitutions that mimic nature but don't offer the same scent or texture. When you're ready to take the garland down, you can compost the natural greens if you have the space, or repurpose the branches as mulch for your garden. Your home becomes a little more festive while your footprint stays gentle on the planet. Thank you for joining me as we created this natural garland look together. I'd love to hear which elements you liked best and how you would adapt these ideas to your home. Do you prefer a traditional pine and berry scheme or a more modern eucalyptus and citrus arrangement? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you try this project, tag us in your photos or drop a link so we can see your beautiful work. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more cozy home decor ideas, seasonal DIYs, and practical tips for decorating with natural materials. Until next time, may your days be merry and bright, and may your home feel warmer with every natural detail you add.